The Big Voice. KWTN 100.9 FM. Allen, Nebraska. The official radio station of the Winnebago tribe.
Oh yeah, you're listening to 100.9 FM. This is KWTN, the Big Voice Radio. You are listening to the weekly episode of the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. This is your host, Coach Q. I'm kind of in the house. And you know who else is in the house?
You know B-Luv is in the house.
B-Luv is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. And also, we have one of our upcoming and prominent coaches here in Winnebago. We have Coach Chris LaPointe joining us today in the show, in the studio. Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
Well, best fingernails getting in the way, y'all.
There you go. There it is. Say hi, Chris.
What's up, everybody?
There it is. All right, Beth got arthritis in those two fingers over on one side of there.
Yeah, she's probably cramped up from this weekend.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to another episode of the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. Today we have a real good treat for everybody. Just this past weekend, and then all season long too, the Warpath Middle School, I would say like the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade squads, the boys youth basketball squads that Winnebago has up in playing up in the city, been doing really good, and they come out with a really good turnout in the tournament this past weekend. We'll definitely get into that and talk about that with Coach Chris. And then also later on in the show, as everybody knows, Winnebago has another state champion under the belt and in the trophy case, Mr. Jared Doxey. All-American Jared Doxey.
All-American, yep, that's right.
On Saturday evening, he got the championship of the state tournament, so he's one of the heavyweight champs. That's kind of how I like to put it too. They always had all those big guys wrestle last, the heavyweight champs, kind of like the main event, and
sure.
And Dox was down in Omaha, and yeah, man, he's put Winnebago back on the map. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they've been on the map.
I'm talking about the boys. Like the boys they've been trying to get somebody down there and to bring some medals back. And the boys, the girls been doing good last couple of years, but they finally got their diamond in the rough.
That's right.
And I know that over the last couple of years, having Jared on the show, that he's really been waiting for this.
Yep.
And so while it's fresh in his head, he's going to come join us in the studio a little bit later on and tell all the viewers what it feels like to be a new state champ.
That's right.
So that's what we're going to get into. And then B-Luv and Coach Chris, we're also going to be talking about one of the relatives that's going to be fighting, bare knuckle fighting for a championship belt in the welterweight. The bare knuckle fighting championship is growing and growing. They're actually having pay-per-view fights over in Dubai, which one of the local relatives, Carlos Trinidad Snake, will be fighting for that belt on April 4th, and we're going to get into that. So we got a lot to talk about today. But first and foremost, like we always do, early shout-outs. B-Luv, any early shout-outs that you can think of? I know we got to see a little bit of basketball and other sports this past week.
Yep. Well, give a quick little shout-out to the Bagel Boys team. They came up a little short last night in their sub-district game, but they had a decent season. I think they were above 500, but they're still a pretty young team. They got, I believe there was only one senior, maybe two seniors, I think. So there's still got some decent talent coming up. So just give them a shout out on a decent season and keep your heads up and, still go to work, still season's not done yet.
Yeah, yes, indeed. That's a good early shout out. And then mostly all those young men that were on the court last night for the last time this season with their Winnebago Indians jerseys on will be continuing on playing ball in the summertime and training and everything. We've got a big tournament come up every year, All West tournament, which we're gonna, I guess, cover a little bit too on that those awards from the All West tournament from back in the day. But the All West tournament, it's a good kind of segment to kind of get into that right after your shout out, because we're going to talk All West too, because I think we're all going to be heading down for the tournament.
Yeah.
So we'll get early shout outs out of the way, but remember, we're going back to All West, okay? Okay, so any other early shout outs?
Yeah, and then, you know me, I always got to give shout outs to my grandkids. So KJ Blackhawk, those guys, Bancroft Rosalie boys are the only ones who won their first sub-district game, So he had a heck of a game last night. I believe they played, oh goodness, who did they play? Lions Decatur.
Okay, yeah.
I think they played them sub-district game, and he went off, put on a little shooting display last night, ended up having 24 points at 21 at halftime, and let the reserves play the rest of the second half. So
their next game is to be on Thursday.
Tomorrow
night.
Yep.
Thursday night.
Play Howells Dodge.
And then Howells Dodge, I believe, is the number 1 seed and Bancroft's number 2 seed, right?
Yeah, but it
the
is.
subs and the subs.
Yeah.
So, but they both come in pretty evenly matched.
They
like
are.
Last year. You talked about this their game last year.
Well, they're even 2 and 3 in the power points too in Class C1. So that tells you a little something. And then they both come out the same sub district. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Okay,
So.
well, good early shout out.
Yep.
And good luck to the Panthers, right?
Yep.
Good luck to the
Oh,
Panthers
what
on their next game.
Oh, there's the All-American walking
All
in.
right, we got our other guest. He's walking in right now to come join us. The All-American state champ, Mr. Jared Doxey, is in the house with us, ladies and gentlemen. As soon as his mic turns on, as soon as the guy said, all right, say what's up, Dox.
What's up?
What's up, man? So we kind of gave you a little intro already, and we're going to get into it. But today we're going to chop it up. We're going to talk about an hour, talk about a few things, But we're doing early shout-outs. So B-Luv get a couple good early shout-outs. And so Coach Chris, got any early shout-outs? Early shout-outs you could think of?
Just shout out to Docs, man. Congrats.
Oh, yeah. Stole my shout-out. No. But that's a good early shout. You could think about a shout-out too, Docs, while I do mine. So I do got to give an early shout-out right here in the studio to Coach Chris. He's been putting on a lot of practices, man, for all these kids for different age groups, and he been handling business up at the leagues in Sioux City, coaching 2 or 3 teams every Sunday, and on weekends we have tournaments. He's going from here to there to there to here, and he has a couple other coaches to help him out and stuff like that. But like as for the run work of the job with the practice time and all the drills and everything like that, I got to give an early shout out to Coach Chris. We're going to get into Warpath basketball here in a little bit too, and so I'll let him take the mic during that time. But also I'd like to give a shout out to DJ Bessamy and all the work that she's doing too, because we wanted to make sure and get another show, even though we're every 2 weeks. I want to get another show in while Jared's performance is fresh in his head, and also that Coach Chris's past weekend is fresh in his head too. We want to get those stories as close as we could to perfection, so that's what we're doing here. So I said after early shout-outs was going to go back into All West. So
Doc's got a shout out?
Oh, I just want to shout out Zakai Redhorn, the guy that went with me.
Okay.
Yeah, kid's gonna be a stud. I mean, he broke all my records I had as a freshman. And,
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Broke it by four wins.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There
Well,
you
ladies
go.
and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
Yep.
You heard it here first. You think by the time his time is done, he's going to be state champ?
He'll be state champ maybe next year.
Really?
Keep grinding, yeah.
Okay. Hey, Zakiah, you heard it right here first. All right, that's a good shout out. That's a good shout out. That's a big confidence booster too for Zakiah as a freshman, man. So, I was really proud of the entire wrestling team, even the ones that didn't make it down to Omaha. Just proud of the entire team. Coach Chandler and his coaching staff, they're doing such a good job. back in the day, we would never even have thought that wrestling was going to be in Winnebago, let alone be a big thing, right, B?
That's right.
So, so Coach Tramner bringing that culture, up here, and also give a shout out to one of your former coaches, Coach Adam James. I know he played a big part in your growing up too, and learning process you had in wrestling too. So nice shout out, man.
Oh yeah, another shout out I want to do is my other old coach, Keegan Putnam.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the reason where I am today.
Yeah.
Taught me how to be a man, taught me how to wrestle, and basically have a chip on my shoulder when I wrestle.
Okay. Hey, do we want to just continue on with wrestling then, bro? And then we'll get to All West when
I
we're
ain't
done?
worried about All West too much.
Wow. We want to talk about the tournament, though.
Oh, okay.
I got to bring some up. All right, so hey, Docs, we're just going to get into it, man,
Yep.
since we're already talking about it, man. So, ladies and gentlemen who are watching, who are viewing out there on Facebook and on YouTube, if you can see, Jared Docs has got his gold medal right there on his championship medal from NSAA Class C, right?
Yep.
Class C state champ right here. 285 pound weight class.
Big dog.
So those are big dogs right there. The big show if you're gonna watch WWE.
Hey, I have a quick question, Jared. So all the boys that I seen you that you had to wrestle, they all look way bigger, heavier than you. Were they all bigger than you?
Yeah, I think the lightest guy I had wrestled was 250. I only weigh 245.
Oh, you fought in a 285 or wrestled in 285 when you're only 245?
Yeah.
It did look like he was giving up a lot of weight.
Yeah.
It was incredible to watch though.
Yeah. That was good.
Hey, so I want to go ahead and give you the microphone, Jared. Go ahead and kind of take us through your experience down at the state wrestling meet, all up until the championship round. Kind of take us through a little story on how it went down from when you got there until your first couple matches and when you was waiting for that state championship match. But I want to know how you felt on the way.
I mean, just getting down there, and we went to go watch our teammate Precious in the finals, and just getting down there. And I know the girls' tournament wasn't as packed as the boys, but just getting down there and feeling the atmosphere kind of got you comfortable in it. And like people say, it don't matter how big the arena is, it don't matter how bright the lights are, they're not here to watch you. They're just here to watch everybody. So you got to perform how you perform. So that was kind of going through my head going into the first day wrestling. And that first day I was nervous. My guts were all crazy. I was sweating, hands were sweaty. And then going out there, and Chandler came up to me and gave me a prep talk, and he was like, because I told him I was nervous, he's like, why are you nervous? You know how you can do. You know what you can do, and just go out there and do it. So I guess getting that prep talk before my match and going out there and wrestling my match, I beat the kid 18-3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, check followed him, I think. Maybe. No, I major decision him.
So you went all three? You guys went 3 rounds then? Or 3?
Yeah, 3 rounds. 3 rounds, and I think I had 3 takedowns. He had none.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nice. I know. We were talking. I'm getting a little bit more familiar on how they keep scoring and everything like that. Because if you don't get pinned, how they supposed to know who wins? Well, they do keep scoring, and then you see the takedowns and especially that match that you're gonna talk about here in a little while, because it was nobody was scoring, but yeah, that was your first fight.
Oh, yeah.
So
first day. And then later on that day, I had to wrestle in the quarterfinals against number 4 ranked kid in the state. I was number 8 at the time.
Ooh, number 4.
Yeah, he was a big guy. He's 6'8", 280. He's huge.
Wow.
6'5",
6'8", he said.
Yeah, he's a tall boy. Yeah. And he was, we were sitting there wrestling, and I remember going into the match, I was nervous because he had beat someone that beat me previously. And then I was kind of nervous, and then I went out there and just kept playing what Coach said in my head and did what I had to do. And I pinned him in the second period. Nice. After that, that's when I started getting fired up, feeling it. I started getting comfortable in the arena. Big CHI.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Going home, everybody texting me and congrats and making semifinals. And after that, I just kind of got that confidence boost,
Yeah.
So
then you got to the semifinal round, and then who was the guy that you wrestled in the semifinals?
Semifinals. So this is crazy. So before my quarterfinals match against number 4 kid, I'm sitting there warming up. I'm on deck. I'm next up. I'm shaking my nerves out, and then I look over and I hear the crowd like erupt. Everybody's going crazy because all the heavyweights are up, and the returning state champion gets pinned by the guy that I had to wrestle in the semifinals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude,
So everybody's going crazy.
Oh man, that would have been cool, man.
Yeah, and then I'm wrestling. I'm in my match, and in headgear, it sounds weird. It sounds like you have seashells on your ears, and you can hear it erupt again. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, what's going on? And then the number 3 ranked kid had got upset again by the number 4 ranked kid, or number 5. Number 5 beat number 3. I beat number 4. Yeah.
Wow.
So just hearing that was
Upsets
crazy.
were happening.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then, so the kid I had to wrestle in the semifinals, his name's Owen Kuchar, or Kuhar. He's a big boy. He's all 285. He's thick.
Yeah.
He's like 6'5", yeah. Huge boy. I went in there nervous because, I mean, he just beat the returning state champion. And went in there nervous. I kind of wrestled like a wussy in the first 2 periods or so. And then I kind of like, man, I mean, I'm Jared Doxey, you know?
Yeah.
I was
Get
like,
it.
I was
That's what I'm talking about.
kind of had that chip on my shoulder. Like I said, that coach taught me how to wrestle that way, and I went out there and did what I had to do. Caught him on his back and pinned him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
amazing.
Hey, that would have just amazing feeling right there of an accomplishment, you know.
Yep.
So then, you know, so after I, you know, back home here, we were all following too. Oh, Doc's won, and we saw your families, all their posts. You know, your mom, pops, aunties, everybody was posting that he won. They even showed the video of you winning like that. So then everybody back home that couldn't make it down, we're all feeling that here, like, oh man, he's just got one more to go, you know. And then yeah, and so you made the finals, and that was huge to know. And you were still down in Omaha, so you didn't get to see like what was going on back home with everybody, you know. And I was so happy that they put the wrestling onto local television because everybody back home got to watch. Well, whoever tuned into PBS anyway, we all got to watch that championship day, and yeah, it was amazing, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you take us through that championship day, not just the match, but the day, like from wake up, man. How'd it feel when you woke up? Like,
I mean, we had weigh-ins super early that day, 7 o'clock in the morning. Previously, every weigh-in we had was like at 10, 12, just kind of laid back. But waking up early in the morning, kind of woke up feeling eerie, like my stomach was turning. Like the first day, I felt like it was all over again. I was nervous walking in weigh-ins. And I remember weighing in, coming back, and my coach, it was just me and my coach, and no one else came with us. And we were driving back, and he gave me another prep talk, just telling me I gotta wrestle how I know how to wrestle. This ain't no big match, just another ordinary match. We're at an ordinary tournament. And then he kind of just told me focus on what I have to do and get the job done. So going back home, or going back to the hotel, I think it was 7 hours till I had to wrestle. The final started at 3 o'clock, and I wrestled like at 3:30, 4 o'clock. And I mean, heading back to the hotel, I took a nap. Woke up around 12 just because I set up my alarm so I can have time to wake up.
Yeah.
And just sat there mentally prepared, no music, nothing. Just sat at the edge of my bed and just thought about everything. I mean, that's the type of wrestler I am. I sit there and I think about what I'm going to do, what I have to do, and yeah. I'll sit there for hours just watching the film over and over and over. And by just sitting there, I felt like 10 minutes, but time flew by, and coach was calling my phone telling me to get down to the bus, and we had to head over. So heading over there, nerves start kicking in again, but I knew I had it in the bag. And got to the arena. I warmed up with another returning state champ from Class D. His name's Colin Verbka. He's a good wrestler. Warmed up with him. After that, he just told me, he's like, hey man, you go out there and do your thing, you got this. And after that, that kind of gave me another confidence boost because it's like, it's a returning state champ telling me I got it, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, going in, and then just that morning they posted something on Facebook that like, our starting weight's gonna be 165, and that's a heavier weight, so they'll fly by real fast.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I don't got like 10 weight classes to weight, because I usually wait till 106 all the way up to heavyweight.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? So it's like, dang, that's kind of fast. And I remember we did the Parade of Champions. They got us all in line, and we walked through. They shut the lights off. The lights are flashing. It looks all cool. Yeah, and that kind of settled me in the finals feeling. There's only 4 mats out there. There's over, I think, 20,000 people watching you, and just walking around. It kind of gets you used to it.
They narrowed it down to 4 mats?
Narrowed it down from 8 to 4, yep. And yeah, the parade of champions walking through there. Everybody's phones are lights flashing, lights are off, and then just sitting there waiting while they're singing the what's it called?
You can say flag song.
You can say flag song.
Yeah, singing the flag song, and I was just sitting there, soaking it all in. I guess it was crazy to think about. I mean, I was a kid starting brand new wrestling program. I didn't know how far it was gonna take me, and now I was there. That kind of when all the emotions sunk in, I kind of just knew, where I need to be.
You knew that you wasn't done yet.
Yeah,
I ain't done yet. Yeah,
you know, I ain't gonna settle for that. But and then we go back, and I kind of just sit there, and I'm like, damn, I'm in the finals. I'm in the state finals. You know, it's crazy to think about. And then next thing you know, I'm zoning out, and then my coach is, "You're about to be up. Here's your ankle bands. Let's get it." And then gives me another prep talk. I had to put on my ankle bands, and I'm sitting there warming up. And then we were sitting in this tunnel, and they have this gate, and that's when the walkout thing is, when it says NSA state champions or whatever.
Yeah.
And that thing, I mean, that's crazy to think about when they play that song and you're in the line waiting. You see your opponent right in front of you, you know, and I don't know.
So at that point in time, right there, you're talking about when you was doing your little tunnel walk.
Yeah.
Right then, back home at the casino, at the last Bear Moon powwow, they just went into intermission. They just went into their break time, and there's a lot of people that went out into the casino, and they were watching it on all the TVs out there, man. Out in that little area by the bar lounge area, by the blackjack tables, you know, and all the TVs they had it going on, and so everybody's standing around tables standing around the area in the TV watching the casino, you know. So yeah, it kind of froze everybody. It was like perfect timing, right when you were coming out and getting ready to wrestle. So.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah. So like the guy you wrestled, I saw he was a pretty big dude too. And it looked like it was like you had trouble kind of getting a grip on him or something. He was too slick or I don't know. He's just a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude. I mean, I felt good beating him, but I have love for him, you know?
Yeah.
I know him personally, and he's a good guy. It's just there's wrestling beef there, if that makes sense.
Who's he from, or where was he from? And what's
He's from Chase County. His name's Zach Taryn.
That's where your homies then, or what?
Yeah, I've seen him in AAU and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so he beat me last year in the first round of AAU 1-0. And I knew the way he wrestles, and like I said, that chip on his shoulder makes you wrestle like a different person. And
Oh yeah.
Cool.
I came out there, and I was kind of glad it was him, to be honest, because I know how he wrestles, and I knew what I was gonna do, and just had it all in my head. And I know the way he wrestles, he likes to wait, and he wants to have the match go into overtime 1-1, and then he wants to outpower you in overtime. You know, he kind of saves himself, and then goes. And I knew the way he wrestled, so me being the smarter wrestler, I got out that one point, and you see me taking shots, and he wasn't doing much. He was just backing up and trying to lay on me.
Yeah.
So that's why I kept doing that, and then pretty soon that's when they gave him that stalling call and made it 2-1 in the third period.
I was wondering what that second point was for. Okay, I get it. It makes sense now.
Because he ain't making no like position to score.
Yeah,
He ain't
it
trying
looked
to
like he was
circle
just
in.
leaning on you, and looked like he was getting himself tired doing it. You know, that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
and yeah, it was.
So then the final score, was it 2-0?
It was 2-1.
2-1?
Yeah, he got an escape point in the second period.
Oh man, so I remember we all sitting around and we all started war hooping and stuff like that. It wasn't too loud because it was actually in the casino and stuff, but we were just all loving it up, and end up like after the match kind of headed out, went back in the casino, made sure that they announced it over the loud PA system for the power to hear.
Yeah.
And so just so you know, you got a loud cheer out there from all the fans and people that were at the casino for the power too. So he made everybody proud.
I was in a gym down in Oakland when I found out Trayvon hollered at me from the bleachers because my granddaughter and Trayvon's daughter was playing in 5th grade games, and he just hollered at me from way up there. A bunch of people around. Buff. Kind of looked up at us. What's up? I said, and he kind of held his phone and said, Doxy just won the state championship. I said, did he? Like, all right. So then we just got a little high five, a little pound. Then I told my group that I was sitting with too, and then everybody kind of got fired up for you. So it was kind of cool. Everybody had their own little memory of that now, so that's pretty cool.
I know that as like in that video, you can see me when he tries to throw me. I kind of just sit and I get up and celebrate. I mean, that last 10 seconds, I don't know, it felt so slow motion. I felt like, not in a bad way, like, oh my God, it's taking forever.
It's
but
probably like you're mentally trying to savor the moment because you're seeing that clock tick down, and you know that goal that you've been looking for all these years, that it's right there, and all you gotta do is hold on for dear life, and then it just seems like it goes by so slow. But yeah,
Pretty cool.
they counted it down, and I saw the excitement that you had, like. So I just remember B-Luv having to play down in the post in basketball all the time. He always said, he's like, bro, you don't know how much energy it takes out of you to be playing a low post because you don't have to do it. But being down there and having to use your muscles and box people out and do all that kind of stuff while the guards are just running around on top. So I never knew about that. But having to wrestle, and to do that, like all the way hardcore 100% for three quarters or 3 rounds, that'd be tough to do, especially if the other person's out there trying to get you. So I got to give you props, man, and say a big, huge congratulations, and I'm proud of you.
We're proud.
Not just a sports show, but like myself as a coach in this community, seeing all you boys, coming up from when you guys are just little bitty guys, pee-wee football and stuff like that, and then here we are today. We got a state champ in our midst.
I want to share a story when this guy was a baby, real quick. So I played softball with his dad for years growing up, and we're playing in a tournament down in Walt Hill. His mom had him, and he's sitting right behind the backstop, the fence. This guy was probably about maybe 3 months old. He was laying there on his back, and his mom was sitting next to him. And then we're out in the outfield. I was pitching. Did something crazy where the guy hit the ball and it went behind the fence, and it come over and it went right over the fence, and it come down and landed right next to this guy, a softball. You know how big and hard those are. Right next to him, like almost hit him as a baby. His dad hollers out there, "Come on, son, catch that." he's only like 3 months old. I remember that one. Come on, man. So that's why I was thinking that when I see a big guy wrestling around. I was like, I remember that guy's little bitty guy. Not crazy.
Yeah. So now that you got your state championship hanging around your neck, go ahead and tell us how it feels. Like I know you're happy, but like when that ref raised your hand and you knew that it was a done deal, that's what I wanted to hear. Like fresh out of your head,
I don't know. It just feels. I don't know if you guys seen the interview on the news or not, but like I said, it just feels amazing. It feels amazing to soak all that in, being the first in history, Winnebago history to ever win one, and doing it as a junior and having this goal ever since I was like, when did I start wrestling? Like when I was 11. Ever since I was like 10, 11, and just achieving that, I mean, it felt amazing. Like sinking it all in. You can see it on the jumbotron when I'm sitting there getting my medal around my neck. I'm smiling real big. It just feels awesome.
Nice.
Awesome feeling.
Well, congratulations again, man. And I hope next year that we're at the same time we're gonna be sitting down here again, doing the same kind of interview, because that would be great, So hey, one thing before we end the questions with you and we move on to Coach Chris here is, do you have any future plans in this sport here?
To be honest, I'm not sure yet. I want to wrestle. I want to play football, but then again, I want to go to the Army. So it's kind of big 3 for me, anyways.
Well,
I already got a couple of colleges contacting me.
I definitely would be one of those guys that say, hey, put all 3 of those on your bucket list and do one at a time. Check them off your bucket list. I think that would be great. And doing that, you'd probably be really successful too. So nothing but good fortune and prayers for you, Mr. All-American State Champion Jared Doxey. Yeah, so hey, but thank you for coming in and sharing your story, man. Hey, we got to hear that story, man, like live right here on the show. So I really appreciate that. So, all right, thank you, Jared Doxey.
Protect the runner at all costs.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to
Let him get away.
The Big Voice Sports Talk Show on 100.9 FM. This is KWTN, the Big Voice Radio, and that was Jared Doxey, the state champ, in here for that interview. Hey guys, What do you guys think about that interview?
That was pretty good.
Hey, I love hearing stories just like that, you know.
Yep.
And,
Well, we heard his one when he was down in Orlando when he was winning all that, when he got his All-American status. So this is kind of right on those levels.
It's kind of like we're being the documentary for Doxy's young life. He could always go back to the episodes, the one that he's been on, and show his growth. Last year, you know, he come up short, and then the year before that, when they first started, and he was got the All-American status. You know, just the story is all on our show, so we got that good.
Yeah.
All right, so but hey, one shout out though. I got to give a shout out to his entire family.
Yep.
Man, they showed up down in Omaha. They did. They showed up. It's like everybody was there. There's pictures up there of the entire family. They're just showing up to show their support for this young man. And I know that we always think it too, that family plays huge in these sports, you know. And to have all your family show up and other community members show up to come support you and cheer for you like that, that's what it's all about right there.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch the gears here a little bit, B-Luv.
All right.
Okay, so first and foremost, we got Coach Chris LaPointe in the studio with us today. Coach Chris, he's a basketball coach for our young men here in the community for the Warpath basketball program. He coaches the 8th grade A team, the 8th grade B team, and a 7th grade team up there in 2 leagues up in Sioux City, Iowa. So we get probably about good 40, 45, 50 games a season throughout the whole winter with both leagues and tournaments that are happening around locally, and then ones we travel to too. So anyway, Coach's been doing an excellent job, and up on the board up there right now, DJ Besseme's showing some of the pictures from this past weekend where the Warpath basketball program took home some championships, and this is the end of the season, so this is what the end of the season's all about, is these last tournaments, to see how we fare at the end of the season, see how much the kids grew. So Coach Chris, man, I'd say first of all, say thank you to you for coming up here, spending some time up here with me and B-Luv. I do want to give you a little bit microphone time, a little air time, just talk about your program a little bit, and how your program's grown from the beginning of the season to where you're at right now at this part of the season with only a couple of weeks left.
Well, first of all, appreciate you guys for having me back.
Yes, indeed.
It's definitely a fun time when I can come in here and chop it up with you guys. But I'm just still impressed with what Doxy was talking about.
For real.
That's an impressive young man.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Big
High character. The story, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still just like, I'm glad you guys let him go first. But anyway, back to, I would say that our program, it's on the right track. We got a lot of things going for us, as a program, with all 3 of the teams. And we got a lot of players that have really been making a lot of progress. Our teams kind of started off a little rocky. I would say the beginning of the season, it kind of wasn't up to our standard. But we just kept chipping away, kind of like what Doxy was explaining. You just kind of, keep finding a way, kind of fighting through that adversity. It gets hectic. Things happen. Kids get sick, get injured.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of things that come up, and just keep on, fighting and trying to find a way. And I always try to, as a coach, put that chip on my players' shoulder too, about these other teams. They might have the better resources than us. They might have the better situation. They might have whatever it is. They probably got it a little bit better than we do. But at the end of the day, that's really no excuse for us to not come in and just be able to do our thing. I mean, it's just amazing, the response that you can get when you teach these kids just certain things, and definitely having that chip on your shoulder. I mean, seeing it with Doxy, it goes a long ways.
Yeah.
That mentality, the mental side of any sport is just a beautiful thing.
I see the growth. I mean, I didn't watch too many of the games, but I seen some of your games at the beginning of the season, And then I seen like your 4th grade team play this past weekend, and like I was saying before we went on air, I was impressed. Your youngest one's a really good ball player. That's just, I'm not trying to single anybody out, but watching him, then seeing your Snapchats of got them all in the gym doing drills. Then you were the same way with your little brothers Matthew and David and Willy Wonka. So it seemed like you and DJ, you kind of always. You're always there in the boys' lives, and you can always tell something. You can always tell there's something there. Obviously there's good genes, to go with that with everybody. But then I said it before on the show one time. I talked about your basketball IQ as a coach and as someone that's on the outside looking in, not as a player no more because you're kind of old man now. but as I remember talking. Long trip down to Memphis, bringing David down to Memphis, and we were all talking sports all the time, and I was kind of just impressed with the way you you explain things and how you talked about basketball, and it's just like kind of common sense stuff, but then you really made it clear on a more clear kind of how you talked about things. So I was just always impressed with how you looked at that. So you stepping in and running this, taking over for Quincy a little bit, I guess, running a Warpath program, you're doing a good job. You got some studs on it on every team.
I do got to give a shout out to little bro Pete Bass too, because he's taking care of the 4th and 5th grade team, and he's got these boys at practice right now. Actually, they're at practice right now, and he's pretty hard on the boys. Yeah. But the boys are used to it now. Yeah. And we all know you're not going to get that much better if you're not, the coach ain't hard on you, because if they coaches demand excellence from you, they're gonna tell you in practice, and just listen. You'll it's gonna down the road you'll find out that
if you don't say nothing, then he don't care. So he's he has to get on. If he needs something done right and he wants it done a certain way, then he'll do it. Otherwise,
and I like I really like the way that the coaches for Warpath, how they are with the boys. They're never like mean to them. They talk to them. They explain to them. When we was growing up, it was just like throw a ball out there, and if he isn't doing it right, like some coaches would be mad about it or something like that. But these guys explain it so much that they want to learn. The kids want to learn. So I really enjoy that though. Yeah. But yeah, hey. So this past weekend, you guys made some noise up in. There's I think the league tournament up there at Hayworth Hoops at East High. Just a little history about that league up there. Winnebago has actually been in that league for over 27 years, I believe. Jeez. Up in that league up there. Really? And I remember even when Chris was a young one, Coach Chris was a young one, when he came up through that same league up there. And there were some good players, even like players like Kirk Heinrich played in that league back in the day. There's some kid named Jacobson, kid that from up that way that ended up playing the NBA, played in that league up there. So that kid that used to be point guard for Iowa, Gazelle, he hooped in that league up there. That Woodbury, the guy that played right along Gazelle, Iowa, he played in that league up there too. So that league, has a lot of history, and Winnebago's right there with them. We got a lot of good ball players that come out of that league too. Sure. So, but yeah. Anyway, talking about that league. So you guys went up there and made some noise in that league. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, pretty much all season, the 7th grade team, they kind of just held their own. I mean, there was a few good teams in there that gave us a go. And the boys would just always find a way to figure it out. My middle boy Chris, he's kind of like our engine. He, we go as he goes. But getting all the other boys to play and compete, I think is kind of like the key word that that I want to use just for the all of these boys, is just trying to get them to understand that in order for us to have success, we all got to compete. Like you all want to come into these games just hungry, and it's not just all about one person or doing everybody just trying to only score. Like we need somebody to be a rebounder, we need somebody to be a defensive stopper, we need somebody to block shots, we need somebody to just do all the little things. And I think the boys really did a good job of embracing, those little details that contribute to winning. Because there were some boys that we had that this was their first year, and there was games where, they got their opportunities and they did what they had to do to help the team win. And then I think going into this tournament, we just already knew, like as a coach, I try not to, I may feel that way personally, but I try to always feed the boys something just to make sure that they're just locked in, or try to, come up with something to motivate them, or just, try to inspire them a little bit and push them. But I really didn't have to say much, because I think they already just knew, like, let's go win this. Then we worry about the arena league later down.
Yeah.
So every game that we played, man, I mean, I think we pretty much just crushed it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do gotta say something about that 7th grade squad that you're talking about too. I had to sub in for one of you guys the other day during a basketball game, because there was multiple games scheduled at the same time. So I got a chance to coach that 7th grade team, and I didn't know who we were playing, or if we played them before or anything like that, and I didn't know who the starters were. Right. So I was like, all right, you boys, who's your usual starters? And so they all kind of like pointed who the usual starter was. Even the ones that weren't the usual starters, they didn't go me or anything like that. They were like pointing at who the guys were, So then they chose their starting 5.
Yeah.
So anyway, we went along in the game, and we were down by like 13 or something like that at halftime, and they chipped away in the second half, and they fought hard, and got all the way back to where we were in the game again, and the other team had to call the timeout.
Yeah.
And so we all came over, the boys all came over, and in the huddle they said, hey, you should put in such and such, because he can do this, and then you should have such and such in here because he can do that. And I was like, are you guys cool with that? They're like, yeah. They all said, yeah. They knew.
Yeah.
So that's impressive that they knew who to have in the game, late in the game, to finish the game off, and we end up winning.
Especially at that age too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming into themselves. They're starting to, I don't want to say mature, because they're still, but they're maturing as ball players, and as they know, then the number of games they play constantly all the time, and then how they practice and stuff. They probably just know that.
So we come back, and Chris's boy, Lil Chris, and a couple other boys hit some huge shots down the stretch. And your other boy, Bray, Bray bombing threes. He caught us right back in the game. That guy's only like the 3rd grader, man. But anyway, he got him back in the game, and we ended up pulling it off and winning. And the boys felt good about it. Come to find out that they lost that team like the week before that, and so we didn't beat that team yet. So they proved to themselves, and they proved to Coach Chris that they're capable of winning this.
And you proved that you're the coach of the year again.
No.
It was kind of
never take credit.
It was kind of a good situation though, because when we played them the week before that, then we kind of had an issue with attitudes, and I'm kind of repetitive on what I say. Like, I've been saying the same stuff that to them since the beginning, and then up to that point. But that specific game, the attitudes were just negative, and like our aura was just all the way off, and I just pulled all the starters. I think you were there. You were at Sinos that game, and might know we played our worst game ever.
Oh yeah,
but you were there,
yeah.
and I actually had to pull a little Chris out.
Black cat.
I had to pull a little Chris and just kind of get after him a little bit, because we rep it so much that I just want him to understand that being a leader and being the best ball player, you got to carry yourself a certain way. And when you don't follow the rules that we've established for the team, like, I don't care if you're my son, I still got to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
I still have to make sure that if you're not out here leading the way that I want you to, I don't care if you have 30 points, but if that attitude's there and that's not where we need it to be, then you're done. Like, we're just moving on. Like, I'll just play all the rest of these kids. But I just feel like if I let one person get away with having an attitude and being able to get away with certain things, then they're all gonna think that. And I don't want that to happen. As a coach, I don't want to ever showcase to my kids that it's everybody else got to comply, but he don't. Like, I don't think that's a fair way to be as a coach. So that's why I had Quince come in for that game, was because I was already kind of filling him in on everything, and then he just came in and just a different voice with the same, pretty much the same message, and just was able to bring out that competitiveness in them, because they were the number one team at the time, and I was sitting on the other side coaching the 8th grade A, and I was sitting there just cheering for him, hype, loving it up, and it was a cool moment, man.
It is like every game is always a learning situation. Every game, whether you win or lose, as long as you can learn something from the game, then it was a good game. And I did have to sit your boy Chris down, because I saw on his face that he was like, he checked out a little bit. Yeah. And so then when I checked mine, I said he was kind of mad, and he sat down and said, hey, I can't have you out there feeling like that, because then you're not helping. So whenever you're ready and whenever you want to go full speed again, then let me know, because I need you back in the game.
Yeah.
So I turned my back after that, and he sat there for a little while, and then he told me he was ready.
Yeah.
And then when he went out there, it was a different story than after that. It was
Yeah.
a different story. So.
And for that team too, just a shout out to, the boys that don't get talked about, like, Cam Cloud Eagle, and a little Randy Decora, Caleb Worm, like Danon Blackfish, like all the boys that don't necessarily play all the minutes in the game, but when they're called upon, just throughout the season, just progressively, just always contributing more and more and more, and just coming through in the clutch and just making winning plays. Like it's awesome as their coach to see these boys understand what it takes to win. That's like the biggest reward for me, is that they're understanding, not just competing, but competing to win.
Yeah.
To just always go out there and just do what they got to do to win.
Who's the boy? I think it might be something. I don't know a lot of these young men by name, but I've seen him doing. He's a bigger kid. He can get the ball to him in the post, and he's throwing behind the back pass, bounce passes to people breaking to the hoop. And who's that?
That might be B-Luv.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For 8th grade.
Oh, it's an 8th grade team. Yeah.
B-Luv?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's hitting people off.
That's one of Coley Brown's grandsons.
Is it?
Yeah, crazy.
Well, I don't know where he learned how to pass, because Coley never passed back in the day. No, I was just wondering, because I seen him, big fella too. You get him to him, and then he look one way and behind the back bounce past someone, and nobody knows where it's at.
A lot of those guys, they got just a natural, natural thing for basketball and how it's played. And then they got all their buddies. They probably play at recess and lunch and all that stuff like that. So.
Well, we know all of that, that funny, tricky stuff back in days. It works sometimes. You don't be afraid to do it once in a while. If it don't work, then don't do it again. But hey, have some fun. That was pretty.
Yeah, B-Luv is just a natural athlete in general, though. Like any sport, like softball, baseball, basketball, football.
Who's
he's
his
good
parents?
at every sport, man.
Amanda Brown.
Oh, one of Amanda's kids. Oh, okay. Oh, that's why he's big.
So,
Because Amanda's tall too.
So I gotta also say that this past weekend too, that's not the only championship that this Warpath team took home. They also went back and forth between Sioux City and Oakland, and they had a tournament down in Oakland this past weekend that you guys went.
Yeah, 8th grade A went down there and did their thing too, which was good because, those boys, they play in the gold division. They play against the best teams. And this year, a lot of those teams, we compete with them. We've been competing with them for the last 3.5, 4 years. And it's kind of, always coming down to the wire, close games. But this year, those teams kind of separated themselves from us as far as lifting weights and, being more athletic. Like, we've got better talent, we've got better players, and to me, but it's just the lifting weights part and just getting these boys to understand, like, you gotta want to be, you gotta want to be in the gym, but not just in the on the basketball court. Like, being in the gym means being in the weight room too, lifting those weights, because that's why they've kind of taken off on us a little bit. And it's just really two teams, SBL and East. But those boys lift weights, and that's the difference right now. That's why they're kicking our butts right now. So, we play them this weekend, and we got the end of season tournament at Arena coming up. So,
what time's that game, Chris?
We actually play ATC first. The times always change, so I can't really say.
Oh.
Like right now, I think the times I'll say it, and the times will change.
Hey,
But
Send me,
after I
a,
say
send,
it.
send me a snap when it's set in
Yep.
stone. Let me know. 'Cause I want to try to get up there.
Yeah.
Every time,
Yeah,
every time I watch the 8th grade plays, I was blowing someone out. So
Yeah.
I want to see him play have a competitive game once.
Yeah, that SBL team, they're good. Coco Cofield, or I think that's his
Yeah.
last name.
Yep.
His boy's on there, and that boy, he can play ball.
Oh, he used to coach up the West. Is that?
Yeah.
Or
I
he
think he's
went
at-
to, he
He's
went
at
to,
Witt now.
Yeah,
he went. He I think he played at Briarcliff too. I think I played against him before.
Played at Briarcliff, coached at West for a while, and then
he played
took
in the
on-
G League too.
Oh, the
Did
G
he?
League.
Yeah.
He's just another guy who used to hang all over me all the time. Follow me all the time.
Hey, but-
he'll remember me when I walk in.
Ladies and gentlemen, if anybody's waiting on some basketball to watch, some good res ball this weekend, the Warpath basketball teams will be in action up in Sioux City. Some of the games are at the arena, some of the games are probably at Cinos, but I think it's the Battle of Siouxland is what that tournament's called this weekend. And then I believe next weekend is their league tournament up at the arena, where I think the 8th grade A is defending champs. So we're gonna be looking at some good basketball in the next couple of weeks, and then
All age brackets, both
Yeah, I was
girls
just gonna
and
say
boys.
there's gonna be a lot of teams.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
there from
And then-
Winnebago.
And then another tournament for the youth that's coming up is the weekend of the Bowie State basketball tournament. I believe it's March 15th and 16th, where a lot of teams from Winnebago and Walt Hill and Macy, they're all going to be heading down to the Midwest Invitational, the MIT tournament, down in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I'm sure that all the coaches and the teams will be posting their game times and everything like that on that weekend. But that's usually the state basketball tournament weekend, and it's usually the final weekend of basketball season for Warpath, and the girls programs here too. So it's kind of like everybody's state tournament.
So you got everybody save some money just in case we are the Bancroft Rosalie Panther boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have their high wild card too. So and then they got a game tomorrow night, and you never know, they might be down there. So then plan accordingly.
Yep, definitely. All right, so hey, you guys, Chris, thanks for all the basketball talk about Warpath and what the boys are doing, and you know what's coming up in the next couple of weeks. I say good luck to you and the boys and all the hard work they put in. Hopefully they their last tests of the season are really good ones too, and that they show that they learned a lot. So
Let me give another shout out too, real quick.
right ahead.
To Dennis and Debbie Dashner. Jack finally got back, but you know, huge shout out to them. You know, the love and support, and they're at every single game, whether their grandson Tristan's playing with us or not. You know, they let all the boys spend the night at their house. They take them to go eat at places. I mean, just truly, genuinely great people to have around any basketball program, and just in these boys' lives. I mean, their impact as far as just showing these boys love, like how they do. I mean, you can't really put a price on that, man. And for me, like I could never remember their names,
Yeah.
so I could never
It's always joking,
like make
grandma,
a Facebook post for them
Yeah.
and give them a shout out.
joking, Grandma Dash.
Yeah, but just amazing people, and just lucky to have them, blessed to have them, and just happy for the boys that you know they got people like that in their corner.
That's cool.
Yeah, the teams not only be competitive and win terms and stuff like that, but they build relationships and friendships and that word brotherhood all the time with these guys, even if they're not from Winnebago.
Yeah,
You know, they all love each other.
another shout out to the 8th grade A boys. I mean, just all of them, each and every one of them, for just staying committed with it. I think we've had them for 4 years.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
just all stayed with it. None of them, ever gave up, and all the ups and downs, all the success. Like, it's kind of sad for me as their coach because they're all going to be going to high school.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
This is it. This is the final run with them, and happy, but kind of bummed out a little bit.
Yeah,
but-
I know exactly how you feel. Saying,
They're
hey,
gonna
man.
they're gonna step right in and
Yeah,
help that high school team
I
out
was
too.
just gonna say that too. There'll be a lot of those boys on the 8th grade team is gonna be ready to roll.
One name we always talk about all the time is little Marufo boy. What's his name?
Arian.
Grandson. He's a stud.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a stud in all sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bring his name up a lot.
All right. Hey, we're going to go ahead and finish off the show talking a little bit about bare knuckle fighting. Man, Buck, remember when you used to sucker punch me?
That smells best as
I'll be here all week, guys. I'll be here all week. No, but
we hear Beth all damn day until that.
all right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, on April 4th, our very own Carlos Trinidad Snake will be heading over to Dubai for a bare knuckle fighting championship, welterweight championship fight for the belt. What about that, B-Luv?
It's going to be a good one. Something he'd been waiting on. You went down to watch him fight a couple times down in Oman. He's always talking about it. He didn't get his shot here. Finally, he's getting a shot, and then it's flying him outside to go do that.
I think we had Carlos on here like 2 years ago, after one of his big fights, when he said, "All right, if I win this fight, then I can be set up with the number one contender."
Yep. What?
It was 1 year ago.
Oh, 1 year ago.
Oh, 1 year ago.
Yeah. I thought you were saying. Anyway, but then that got put on hold for a while after he won that fight. Then he's like, "Well, where's my shot?"
Yeah.
Then I told you, remember he went and flew down to Miami.
Yeah, he was down there.
They flew him down to Miami so he can go to the champions fight, so he can call him out after the fight. So he did. He got to call him out and call him names and stuff like that.
But then it didn't happen again.
Then it didn't happen.
Yeah, because he just fought this whenever last year was.
Yeah, he fought the other big dog that he used to hold the belt, and he was trying to climb his way back up to the belt, and he broke his jaw. Remember?
Yep.
So this is the fight he's been waiting for.
Yep.
But ladies and gentlemen, on this coming Friday, we are going to have a special episode of the Big Voice Sports Talk Show right here on 100.9 FM, and it's going to start at 1 o'clock. We're going to have the number one contender for this belt, our very own Carlos Trinidad Snake, in the studio. B-Luv, he'll be here on Friday.
Yep.
And so he's gonna talk to us about the fight that's going to happen in Dubai. You know, how he got his shot, and then maybe even we'll make him take it all the way back out to Grandma Choka's house and stuff like that. When he remembers,
if he remembers that,
yeah, he does. I talked to him a little bit, so we can have him tell some of those stories too. So, but yeah, hey, I'm pumped up for that.
Yep.
So that interview is going to happen. We'll probably do a good hour interview on Friday, the 28th, ladies and gentlemen, and then shortly after that, after we're done with the radio show interviewing Carlos, we're all going to be heading down to the Whirling Thunder Wellness Center, where they're going to have a cedar smoking ceremony to send Carlos off on his trip, because he has to head out to Las Vegas and go train for a month out there. And so Carlos is getting ready to head out this coming weekend, or after the weekend's over, and he wanted to make sure and come back to Winnebago to be around family. He wanted to come do an interview, and he wanted to make sure and get seated off. You know.
Yeah, especially with all the incidents happening with the airplanes nowadays. Dang, it's kind of scary even getting on one, especially one for a 15-hour flight.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
Pray for some safe travels.
But there is a promo on the Big Voice Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen, about this day on Friday with Carlos. So make sure to, if you see it, click on share, and let's try to pack that gym, because the championship fight, I believe we're going to try to get it set up down at the big screen so the community can watch it.
Okay, now so that's another thing, is what's the time frame? Because are they going to fight? They might be fighting at 7 o'clock over there, and it might be 5 in the morning over here.
You're right. Hey, we'll definitely find out. But I'm glad you brought that up, because if anything, we'll call in for work or something.
Hell yeah. Beth call in when he gets set up.
I know. But hey, anyway, so yeah, definitely check out Carlos, guys. Come down and show your support. The entire Snake Clan family will probably be there. And I know that Carlos has a lot of buddies, man, here in Winnebago that are his age, because he's one of those young cats, man. So
just to let everybody know, it's our nephew too. Just letting you know.
Everybody's related to us here, man. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say thank you for joining us for today's episode of the Big Voice Sports Talk Show, where we spoke to state champion Jared Doxey. So if you didn't hear that interview, go to the beginning of the interview and listen to that one there. And then we also got to hear Coach Chris LaPointe talk about the Warpath basketball program and the things that they've been doing lately and the big tournaments that they won. And then we got to talk about Carlos and the big stuff that's going to be happening with him, and the event that we're going to be doing down at the Whirling Thunder Wellness Center at 2:30 on Friday before Carlos sent him out to Las Vegas the Winnebago way. Ooh. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to 100.9 FM. This is KWTN, the Big Voice Radio.
Peace.
Peace out.